What's up YouTube, jDantastic here, and this is Dragon Ball Xenoverse, the upcoming Dragon Ball Z game that we are all so excited for. And a lot of you have been asking me since I played the last beta, what are my thoughts on the game, how does it play, what do I think of it, is it the greatest game ever made? And I'm here to tell you that I don't know. That's right, if anyone is out there trying to tell you definitively whether this game is good or bad is out of their mind. There is no way to know for sure without 100% doubt that the game is good or bad is when it actually drops and it is on the shelf and the full game has been developed. Then you can actually decide whether it is a really good game or a really bad game or kind of in the middle. If they're saying that right now, it's too early. People who judge games based off of alphas and betas upset me a little bit because it's not fair to judge a game, an unfinished game, I guess you could say. The whole purpose of these tests are to be able to work out kinks and bugs and things like that, so that's the reason that they're doing this, and it's really cool that they're allowing us to do this because we're actually helping in the process to make this game as good as it can be. So people out there that are bashing the game, I hope you don't really listen to them because it's far too soon. Now, that's not to say that people can't have opinions, because I absolutely have opinions that were formed by the beta, but I'm not going to dismiss things completely or say that this is a bad game or a good game. What I can do is tell you things that stood out to me, and things that I really like and things that I don't like so much, I guess you could say. So, getting into that, we'll start off with the things that I am not too fond of first and get that out of the way, and then we'll move into some of the stuff that I actually really do enjoy about the game so far, and think that will only get better as we progress along. So starting out, and this is kind of hard to say as a bad point because I'm just not used to it. I didn't get a lot of time to play the beta, but the way the buttons are laid out are kind of confusing. It's not like any fighting game I've ever played, especially Dragon Ball Z fighting styles. The button layout of the controller didn't make a lot of sense to me, and that's not to say that it's necessarily bad. I just wasn't used to it. I'm sure once I get used to it and I understand the flow of what they were trying to accomplish with this button layout, that it'll be a lot different and it will become easier over time. It just wasn't something that I felt was really solid at this point. It's definitely something that's going to take some getting used to. So that's one thing that I noted. Another thing that I don't really like, and this is just kind of a pet peeve of mine, it's not really something that affects the gameplay at all. I don't really like the lock-on emblem that goes over the character. Obviously a lock-on system is kind of necessary because you're in sort of this 3D open world fighting map where you can fly around and go different places. So obviously you need to be able to lock on to your opponents so that you can fly at them, you can shoot attacks at them. The thing that I don't like, I just don't like the little target circle that it puts on your opponent, because to me that it just kind of it lessens the experience a little bit. It kind of takes away from it. It pulls you out of that Dragon Ball Z experience. Again, it's not terrible. It's not something that ruins the game or makes the gameplay bad. It's just something that I don't really like. I could do without that. I could do without the little yellow circle that tells me where the opponent is. As long as when I am locked on and I fly towards them, I go towards them, then I don't really need that target. It's just something that I think feels a little unnecessary. The game, it is a little clunky. It's a little jittery right now, so obviously I hope that is something that will get worked out by the time the final version is among us. It's not terrible. It's not bad. It's a little all over the place. It's a little jerky. It's a little, slow is kind of a bad way to put it, but it's just not crisp yet. So I'm sure it will be when it comes time. Just right now that could be tweaked up a little bit, and that's really it. I mean, obviously, like I said, I didn't get a lot of time with the beta, so I don't really have a lot of complaints or a lot of praises either way. I'll give you my final thoughts on it here in just a moment, but the good stuff that I like about the game, just to list them off, are it's beautiful. It looks really, really nice. It looks amazing. I'm excited for how well it looks. I'm excited to see it on some next gen stuff. I'm excited to see it on the PC. It's gonna be glorious. It's gonna look really good. I'm really, really pumped for how good it looks. The character customization is amazing. That's gonna be so great to be able to customize your own character as far as the clothing, the race, the movesets, and then take that character and play against other people in the Dragon Ball Z universe is just like the coolest thing ever to me. It's like a little kid's dream come true. And I know there's been like Dragon Ball Online and stuff like that where you could kind of do that, but this is like a very mainstream console Dragon Ball Z game that everyone is very pumped for, and now you're able to customize your character and make it a reality, and that's just super cool to me. It's something that I think is really amazing. The attack system, I really kind of liked that. As far as the button layout was pretty simple, because if any of you played Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which a lot of you know is my favorite Dragon Ball Z game to date, the special attacks as far as like blasts and rush attacks was a combination of L2 and then either just triangle or up triangle or down triangle or circle if those were moves. And that's how you pulled off the attacks. And Xenoverse kind of references that a little bit. If you hold down one of the triggers, it pulls up a menu moveset that you can see popping up and down momentarily throughout this gameplay. Everything is in Japanese, so it's a little bit hard to understand, but that's how it works. So if you pull a trigger, you get a moveset. If you pull both triggers, you get a different set of moves based on which button, you know, triangle, square, X, circle, whichever controller you're playing on. And that's how you perform the moves. And that's kind of reminiscent of that style that was in Tenkaichi 3. And I really did like that. I think that's a pretty cool layout. I like to be able to pull attacks out quickly by just kind of, you know, pressing those buttons and not having to do some kind of crazy amount of combination. I know that some combination inputs are good, you know, for like Street Fighter games and things like that, but as far as like Dragon Ball Z games where the fighting is meant to be really quick and really precise and it's all about quick attacks and quick movements and things like that, I think it's cool to have a layout that allows you to just, you know, pull out those attacks. Obviously we don't want them to be incredibly easy to land because we don't want those things to be OP, as people would say. But they should be easy to access and easy to pull off, so that if you get skilled with it, it becomes something that you know, is just second nature, and it's a part of the DBZ world that we all know and love. So kind of my final thoughts on the beta so far is that it's looking good. I think it's looking good. Don't let people tell you that it's not going to be a good game yet, because they don't know. No one knows whether it's going to be a good or a bad game for sure. Don't let those people get you unexcited for it. I think it's looking good. I think they're definitely moving in the right direction. To be completely honest, I was skeptical at first. I was skeptical about how the gameplay was going to look and how the character customization was going to come about and how the playstyle was going to actually function compared to past Dragon Ball Z games. And I am absolutely 100% pleasantly surprised, and I'm very excited to get my hands on it more so I can dive in deeper and get a better impression of what the game is actually going to be. So right now, I think Xenoverse is absolutely going to be a great game. I think everyone is going to love it, especially if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan. Of course, you're going to love the game, and that's about all I have to say about it. I don't want to try to sway you one way or the other, because it's just too soon. It's too soon to know for sure. So just keep being excited for it, because we need to be excited for it. It's a really cool thing, and if you can get into the beta process, you know, testing the game and things like that, definitely try to do so, because it's really fun and it really does help the process of the game come along, and the more feedback that we give them, the better game that we will in turn receive. So that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Let me know if you guys played the game, if you got a chance to play it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, and if it's your first time stopping by, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because there will absolutely 100% for sure be Dragon Ball Xenoverse gameplay on this channel coming very, very soon. And I also do a lot of other Dragon Ball Z related videos, so definitely check those out as well. And as always, I will talk to you all in the next video. Later.